Alright, hi guys. I'm shooting this video again because the first go you couldn't see anything of the LCD monitor. So here's my special Nintendo Wii. This was sort of gathering dust in its box. I wasn't doing much with it. I've actually got a black one as well, which is absolutely mint. I'm not using that. That's actually brand new. So I thought I'll get the white Wii modded. I don't like modding consoles. It's a soft mod, so it's not that bad, but it lets you do special things. So there's a 32 gigabyte SD card in there, and there is a 128 gig USB stick at the back, and that's it. I've got my GameCube controller connected to it. I can also use the Wiimote, but I've also bought some of these really interesting Famicom, Super Famicom. This is official Nintendo product, Super Famicom controllers that were actually produced by Nintendo that you can connect to your Wiimote, and that's absolutely fantastic. So, why all this stuff? Well, there is a good reason for it. So I've got an application here on my Wii called WiiFlow. You probably know all about this, but as I say, I hate emulation, but once you see this, you realise that this is the way to go. If you own the games, or if you want to try a game out before you buy it, this is the way to do it. Don't emulate on a PC. Don't emulate on the go. This is an exception as far as I'm concerned, because it is the quality of the output on the LCD is great. You can use a controller, Super Nintendo controller, like I've just shown, GameCube controller, and soon enough with the NES Mini Classic, you can use an NES controller on this thing. So what I've got here is, I've set this up myself. It took me a couple of weeks actually, so on the 128 gig USB stick, I've got some select Wii games. Again, I can just play any one of these, so I can click on this and play one of these games. It's the good thing is, if I own these games, but I could just play them on the fly off the USB stick. There is no need for me to pull the game out of the box and put it in. I can just go through it at my heart's content and play. So in this case, Donkey Kong Country Returns, play, and that's just going to load up the game for me off the USB stick, and there I go. Returns. We've all seen this game, so there's no need to show you that. On the Wii games, it will take you back to the main menu when you quit. I must say that WiiFlow initially was very buggy. You have to really understand how to use it and make sure you've got a really simple file system. But once you get the hang of it, it's absolutely worth the time, investing the time. Having something like this in your living room, in your game room, it's just easy access. Easy access, plug and play, turn it on and have hours of fun. There's no need to take out your systems, your expensive systems, expensive games, damaged boxes, so on. That really winds me up sometimes. But I'd say this is something collectors might want to use to play their games. But again, GameCube games, I've got a selection of GameCube games here on the USB stick, and I can select any one of these and play. So for example, I can go to Zelda. This is the special Zelda game, and I can play this one. So it loads off the 128 gig USB. Be very careful on the USB you use. I'm using a SanDisk Glider 128 gig. This one seems to work very well. Some other USB 3s don't work well at all. Here we go. So this is now Zelda Special Disc with Wind Waker and the other 4 Zelda games in it. Now I can quit this by hitting a button combination with the controller. So this will take 2 seconds, and that's going to go back to the main menu. The advantage of this is I don't need to mess around with. I have got a Wii component cable, but you know what? With this, I could just played the games in 480p. I know they look better on the sorry, I meant GameCube component cable. I know they look better on the GameCube. To be honest, I can't be bothered. I haven't seen the difference. This looks great anyway, so I'm not too interested in that. Super Nintendo. So I've got now some select Super Nintendo games that I consider to be worthwhile here. So I could just flick through the boxes. Let's get Batman Returns. I can click Batman Returns. You get some nice background music there. And you can play Batman Returns. This is running off SNES 9X, which is in your file system. WeFlow is simply the interface, so it shows you the box art. You can select the game, then it runs off SNES 9X. The emulation is spot on, pixel perfect. I love seeing these pixels. You know, if you're not happy with that, you can just connect using an RGB to go up to your CRT. But to be honest, after seeing this, I'm not too interested in doing that. So here's Batman Returns. This recording is not doing the game, the emulation justice. It is emulation, but it's perfect. I've seen poor emulation. I've seen good emulation. This is spot on. I've got this game on the Super Nintendo. I've played it side by side. This is absolutely spot on. So and I can just play this on the without having to remove this game from the box and damage it. So of course, at some point I will take out my Super Nintendo and actually play this game. But you know, this is quick and easy, and it's just all in one package, and it's faithful to the original. And I've got proper controllers here, and it's good controllers, not cheap knockoffs. I've got original GameCube, Wiimote, or Super Famicom. So I don't mind playing Sega Genesis or Mega Drive games using the Super Famicom controller. That's fine. Okay, so I can exit this and go back to WeFlow. It's very stable as far as I'm concerned. You know, after you get the hang of it, initially it can be a bit buggy. You just need to sort the files out right on the SD card. So the SD card holds all of your emulator information, all the box art cover information, all the system data information for the modded Wii. My USB stick holds all the game information. So again, Sega Genesis games, and again, these are Sega Genesis games that I consider to be cool, that I consider the sort of games I want to play. So Castlevania Bloodlines, again, I can just play this by pressing play. Quick and easy, no need to take out my Genesis. And again, there's plenty of options on how you want to display this game. You can display it as 4:3, 16:9. I prefer the Sega games on 16:9. I think they look pretty cool. And again, Bloodlines, and I can play this immediately. And again, I don't have to play using this. I can connect my Super Famicom controller like this, or use the GameCube controller, but I don't recommend playing these using the GameCube controller. So again, that's that. I can exit. Again, there are a ton of options here regarding just how you display these games. I won't go into that now. You can find that out on the internet. I have to confess, this is a project, so you'll need to spend a couple of weeks on this spare time. Just understand that there is no guide. There are lots of quick start guides and advice and forums, but WeFlow is what I'll recommend. Master System, Sega CD. So Sega CD, like I love Sega. I don't have access to a Sega CD, and it's going to be quite expensive. But what I could do is I can play Sega CD games emulating absolutely perfectly here on the Wii. So Final Fight on Sega CD, and there are some pretty rare games there as well. But I could just play these games. Robo-LS. Now, I never thought I'd play Sega CD games in here. I haven't got one, and I know it can be quite a pain to get hold of the games. They're going up in price, but this is perfect. This emulates Sega CD almost 99 to 100%, very well. I haven't had any issues with any of this emulation so far. So this is Robo-LS. Again, a great shooter, fantastic shooter. Let's get wait for it to start. look at that runs perfectly. The sound is great. It's coming off my LCD TV into that Creative Labs sound processor, and then it's coming off a stereo, which is great. So yeah, so that's Robolesque. And that's for the Sega CD, return to loader. And the cool thing is with this, I can also play all the Nintendo games, so really sort of puts the NES Mini in its place. But of course, as with any other Nintendo fan, I will get the NES Mini. It's an official Nintendo product, and it's going to be really cool. But obviously with this one, I've got 66 NES games, and I've handpicked the games that I want on here. I can play any one of these games whenever I want. Cool thing about this is Game Boy emulation. So again, this lets you play Game Boy games, and actually they look really good on here as well. So Super Mario Land, I don't want to play over a small screen. I've never really got Game Boy Advance and Game Boy games in one place, but Super Mario Land. Nope. So I can play Super Mario Land, and actually I've set it up so it's not scaling too much, but it just looks right. You know, it looks pretty cool on the LCD TV again, and it does it Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color very, very well as well. Finally, I've got some TurboGrafx games on here as well, PC Engine TurboGrafx 16 games. I won't show you the Master System games, you know, but that's Master System, and TG's TurboGrafx 16. And again, the sort of games that I own most of these, Bloody Wolf, I can just load this up. And the cool thing is that you'll see the box, you'll see what the game is, play the game. If you really enjoy it, if I enjoy it, I'll get myself a hard copy. It's not going to set me back a couple of grand. There you go, and that's a Bloody Wolf running in the system. So let me exit that. But yeah, so this is like a one hub that contains all of these great games and emulated very well on your LCD TV, all in one simple package. One USB stick. Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with this. Just need some invest some time, but it's well worth it, you know. And the cool thing is I haven't spent a penny this month on buying games, and to be honest, I've had enough because the prices have gone up so much. And I thought, well, let's take a step back and start and having a good play on some of these games, and really being selective about what I buy. Anyway, let me know what you think. This is my latest project, and I look forward to your feedback.